one of the things that we've talked about a little bit in this Operation Forager series from the North Mariana Islands are the role that caves played in the fighting that took place here on the islands. And there's one story in particular from Guam that I just absolutely love. It involves a Japanese soldier by the name of Yokoi. This is a guy who, after the battle was over, came back into the jungle and would not give up and refused to believe that the fight was over, and hid out in the jungle and in the cave and survived for 28 years. That means that while the U.S. Air Force was flying bombing missions to Vietnam off of this island, this Japanese soldier from World War II was still here, just holding out till the bitter end. But anyway, we're heading down a trail right now, and going to check out a few caves and a couple of other Japanese fortifications today. So one thing I can tell you about Guam that I don't like are these dadgum mosquitoes. I am getting absolutely swarmed right now. But what I do like is this tree. That thing is cool as heck to me. And we've made our way down this trail. Boy, I'm hung up. And there is some caves back this way that are called the Japanese medicine caves. And these are some of the caves where the Japanese were fortified and hid out during the Battle of Guam. And holy cow, boy, that is a descent into the darkness there. But anyway, I wanted to come out here and check these out, just because they're part of the history and part of the story of the Japanese defense of these islands. All right, back out here with these dadgum mosquitoes. Here's one thing that I've come to learn and appreciate about being out here in this jungle and in this environment is just how trying the surroundings are, without any combat. I mentioned the mosquitoes. It's hotter than heck. Like the heat has just been completely oppressive, and that's not even with any humidity on top of that. Every vine in this place wants to either trip me or strangle me. There's rocks everywhere. The terrain is up and down, and I'm not even carrying a full pack, and nobody is shooting at me. So if I'm a World War II soldier or Marine, and commanding officer says, "Hey JD, we need you to go and grab a few guys and clear out this cave," I gotta be honest, I don't want any part of it. But it gives me a lot more perspective and respect for the men here who also didn't want any part of it, but did what needed to be done anyway. But this is a brutal place to be. It's honestly, for me, somebody who doesn't like the heat anyway, I'm a cold-natured person, it is pretty miserable. I'm enjoying myself and I'm learning a lot, but the environment is pretty oppressive. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next spot here. we are moving between points A and points B, and right here along the side of the road, well, they have one of the Japanese command posts that was used here on Guam, and as you can see, I think this one is going to be closed off. I did a little bit of research before coming here, and we get to hear my voice reverberate through these walls now. And I don't think there's a whole lot to this one. I think that what you see is, pretty much what you get. So I don't think we're missing much by having this door locked. But yeah, right here on the plateau above the invasion beaches, one of the command posts that was used by the Japanese. All right, moving on. All right, we've moved now to really the middle of town, not too far from the northern landing beaches, and you can see here some more examples of some of these Japanese caves. Now, we obviously can't go in here. I could maybe slip through that crack, but I'm not going to. These were built in large part with labor from the Chamorro people and Korean people who were on the island. So the Japanese used a lot of forced labor to construct these things, and this looks like a little bit higher end bunker or cave system than what we've seen so far. Okay, we're starting to lose daylight a little bit here, and won't lie, it took me a few minutes to find the entrances to this cave system, and obviously these are caves that are not natural. These were carved out of the cliff by slave labor, and they are open. So we're going to dig out our light and go take a look. All right, well, let's see what the Japanese have got back in this cave. Wow. Now, one thing that I've got to say right off the bat, this is actually different than anything that I saw in Saipan or have seen in Guam so far. This is really well built, and I can actually stand all the way up. Like, this ceiling is probably 7 foot in some places. Wow. So if I'm going by what Fred told me in Saipan, this has the markings or the character traits, I guess you could say, of a Navy tunnel. Okay, so there's another exit right there. Now let's go back this way and hope we don't run into some methed out hobo back here. Wow. Definitely the most elaborate of the caves that we've seen so far. Huh. Okay, and then here's the end. Yeah. So this most certainly would have been used during the battle, because we're not too far away from the northern landing beach right now. And wow, this is legitimately impressive. Glad that we found this one. All right, well, there you go. Those are just a few varieties of the Japanese caves that were used here during the Battle of Guam. And of course, we saw these in Saipan. There are more that are going to be used in Tinian. As a matter of fact, throughout the Pacific Theater, that's going to be one of the mainstays, or one of the constants that we see in the fighting, is the Japanese lodging up in these cave systems. But anyway, very interesting to be here in Guam and be able to explore these different caves and see the different varieties and kind of delve into the history just a little bit more.